order.
They both came from Paynesville.
We have everybody here, assuming that's on our way.
I've not heard that you will.
Please still out.
Clear Lake, or, yeah, Clear Lake.
Okay.
And it was,
We have the agenda in front of us, no additions.
And just a reminder, make sure you speak in the mics.
Yeah. How's that?
Better.
Is it on?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And we have a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Cheryl,
Second.
second by Kella. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Approve and correct minutes from the September 9th, 2014 regular meeting. So everybody got the minutes? I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Second by David. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Financial reports. We have the treasury report and the monthly balance sheet.
Just a couple things on the monthly expenditure report. I've talked about most of these on the second page. The 25,928 still remains there. That was the van that we purchased, but special ed van, but we will be getting funds back for that from the U.S. government, so it'll take a little bit before we get that off that piece. Then on page 3, the 55,238, I've talked about that before. That's the workman's comp. It will be distributed. It is budgeted, so that will be taken care of once we get a little more information. But the 1,461 is an addition, and I did not budget for that. So it'll come out of the general funds, but that was insurance for the 2 new vans that we purchased.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by David to approve the financial reports.
second.
Second by Mark. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Approval of bills.
I had the opportunity, just about a half hour ago, to go over the additional October bills, no, August bills. Additional August bills and September's. I didn't find anything out of the norm, so I gave the recommendation to approve them as they're written.
I will second that motion. So we have a motion by Mark, second by Bruce to approve the bills. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Consent agenda. Review and consider approval of the following teacher lane change requests. Do you guys want me to read them all?
No, it's part of the.
Okay. And it's contractual.
Yeah, this is a standard procedure. It is contractual. It is under the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as it proceeds.
Motion by Mark to approve the
Second.
consent agenda, second by Cheryl. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Okay, business items. As we go through business items, for anybody here from the public, we have public comment during the business items. We'll call on you or give you an opportunity. If we miss you, just raise your hand or wave your hand and somebody will catch you. So first item, review and consider approval of the proposed 2014 payable 2015 levy limit certification report.
This is the initial review. This is not the finalized piece. It's certification. This is initial review and certification of the proposed 2014 payable 2015 property tax levy. We do not formalize this or adopt this levy until December. Okay, please keep in mind that this is not the final adoption, but the preliminary proposed levy. The preliminary levy is due September 30th. We approved the final levy in December 1st. I would certainly recommend adoption of this. That would be straight and forward and say that we do levy to the maximum. You know, and we can certainly change that as we go into December, but if you do not do that now, you cannot change it later. It's whatever you do at this point. You can go down, but you can't go up.
So, I just have a question. Why on 5001 and 5002 in the proposed so much different than the year before.
It has gone up. It does depend on a number of various things from property tax and all of that. For instance, the community ed did go down a little bit, but there was an adjustment that was made, so it went up. So it does change on a yearly basis, depending on a number of factors, from student population to how our community is doing as far as property value.
Looks like the total levy went up 35,000, but the categories are quite different.
Right, that's what I was referring to, more, what is the general, voters?
I go through these, the 166, the 474, that's voter approved. Okay, that's referendum and equity dollars that we get from the state. There was a little bit of change. We did have a little bit more adjustment in the equity by the state, so that's part of what created the addition. The 236, that's the student achievement. Now that's new. It was used to have that in the state. It was kind of taken away for a period of time and now it's brought back. The 265,930 is made up of a number of different things. Safe schools, operating capital levy, health and safety, and that does change depending upon what we use. Use it for unemployment, insurance, deferred maintenance, those types of things are all included in that. The 81,138 is community ed and ECFE. And again, that did go up some because it dropped, because of an adjustment, now it's gone back up. The 15,408, 25, and the 57,261 is really debt service. That 57 is the current roof project that we're doing right now, and the other one is are the buildings that we're doing. And those, again, that one was water approved. So those are kind of the breakdowns of all those.
Looks like on the very top one, in 2013, it was at 521. Is that, did something come off? Did some bonds come off or something like that, or?
Well, some bonds did come off on that. That one I would have to double check on for you.
And then the next one, the 474, that's the operating levy that was passed in
Yes.
2012. Is that not on the 2013 table?
I'd have to check on that too.
Just curious.
Yep.
Yeah, that-
That would be under other though, not voter approved, wasn't the operating levy voter approved?
Yeah, the operating levies were voter approved, yes.
You see what I mean, David?
Yeah. Once it was water approved, no, that's it.
The whole report is 38 pages, it's a peanut.
Yep, that is correct.
But this document isn't driven by us. We are not preparing this document. This is,
No, this comes from what we're able to levy.
So we are,
These
We are
levies are
we're
to the
driving
maximum
what it
of what we
was,
can
but
levy. That's correct.
the documentation here is from the Minnesota Department of Ed.
but we levying the max, so if we're going to be levying the max, then we should know why that, I can see, a couple few thousand, but we went from 92,000 to 474,000. It would be nice to know what that was, if it was actually that referendum that was passed. In the same breath, would be the 521,000 and went down to 166.
Yeah, and I can certainly get that, and I probably should have been, had that answer ready for you.
Right, but we still should know why it changed.
Yeah, it looks like they moved,
No, I know, but we should, yeah, we should know.
moved a bunch of it.
Yeah.
2001 looks like it's moved to, or 5001 moved to 5002. You got the voter approved, and then it moved to other.
And I can, if it's all right with the board, I will send an email out to you on Thursday morning.
In the meantime, I'll make a motion to approve the maximum levy.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the maximum levy by David, a second by Douglas. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Okay. Next would be review and consider approval of assurance of compliance with state and federal laws prohibiting discrimination.
This is an annual piece that we're required to do that. I did go through the policies, and I think everything is in place to do that.
As I looked at this one, I thought it was kind of interesting because there was a lot of duplication to the bullying law that we were just working on.
It does cover many of the same things, but just saying that we're not going to discriminate for any reason.
Okay, we have a motion by Deb,
Second.
second by Cheryl. I missed public comment last time, so we're wide open on that one, and this one we have public comment. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Review and consider approval of the superintendent goals for 2014-15.
After the last time, when we had gone through this, I did not get any other comments from any board members. So at this point, I guess I would recommend to the board that we approve, but it's certainly up to the board. You can certainly come back for a third reading.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it.
I'll make a motion to accept this.
Okay, I have a motion by Deb,
I'll second that.
second by Cheryl. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Review and consider approval of district goals for 2014-15.
You've taken a look at the district goals. I had given the explanation that, again, as we do the strategic plan, I may come back to the board again with some tweaking of those goals. But at least for now, to get the year started, I think they fit well within what we had through the strategic plan in the past. So again, this is the second reading. Did not get any comments from any board members, so my recommendation would be to approve it. But certainly we can table, come back for another reading.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by David to approve,
Second.
second by Kella. Any further discussion? Any public comment? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Then we move to personnel. Review and consider approval to hire Billy J. Sliney as a van driver effective September 17, 2014 for approximately 4 hours per day, 5 days per week for 4 to 6 weeks or until the student no longer requires transportation.
This was a placement of a student, and we need to transport that student to the placement. We're just not sure how long the placement will last. We were told between 4 and 6 weeks, but if it gets done earlier, then we'll end the transportation. If it takes longer, we'll have to continue that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mark. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Review and consider approval of changing Mike Gunther's assignment from .828 to .10 FTE effective September 12th.
On September, at the last time when we had raised his FTE, he had completed his Project Lead the Way certifications. I explained to the board at that time that he's in the process of completing all of the other work, and if you look at the addendum, it talks a little bit about he's got it completed for the School to Work certifications. We do have a variance. We did get that variance on the 12th. So I'm recommending as of the 12th, we increase his time to 1.0 because at that point we were legally had all the certifications and requirements met that we do. Now, he will be completing those. So we're hoping around December time he'll have completed everything and the variance will not be necessary just because he'll have completed his certification. But I think he's made a very strong effort. I don't think it's through his fault that he was not able to complete the course requirements. They just weren't offered when he needed to it, but it should be done by the end of the semester for courses he's taken. So I would certainly recommend approval.
Is there kind of a, like when you have something like this is pending, is there kind of a deadline? Are you saying the semester is the deadline?
Well, we had said that really he needed to get those requirements done by the start of the school year, but some of the courses that he needed to finish those requirements just simply weren't offered at that time.
So we move it to the end of the semester?
I would say right now it should be done if everything goes according to plan. I'd rather just say at this point the variance is there, whether he gets those courses done or not doesn't make any difference. That will take him to the end of the year. I think he's making the progress that we need to make. I would just soon say he'll get those done, and I'll inform the board as that progresses.
I'll make one.
Okay, motion by Deb to approve,
Second.
second by Cheryl. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Review and consider approval of the superintendent's contract for the 2014-2017, well, it's a 3-year contract from
It's a 3-year
2014 to 2017. Everybody got a copy of that, I think, and speaking for the committee, we worked really hard on this one. We were happy with the superintendent's performance on virtually all areas.
So I can certainly go over that if the board wants.
Just hit some of the high points.
Okay, yeah, as the addendum states, it is a 3-year contract, it's 2.87 per year, salary increase each year. There are 3 vacation days added, 2 personal days added, a fitness center membership, and we are changing the contract language to full health. That's it in a nutshell.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by David to approve,
I'll second it.
a second by Calla this time. Well, that's all. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Okay, review and consider approval to hire Jody Youngkin as a special education paraprofessional for 6.5 hours per day for 5 days per week, effective September 24th, 2014.
We had a student come in who has some needs, and this is part of what we need to provide.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Second.
A second by Cheryl. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Informational reports. Deb, the WCED board meeting.
Yeah. First time I've ever been to that. I guess everybody else was busy that night. And as it turned out, it was a good thing I wasn't, because otherwise we wouldn't have had a quorum. So, yeah.
Correct.
So that was kind of interesting, is walk into a new meeting, new people, and they're all like so glad to see you, and you're like, wow, I'm just, okay. But it was a very interesting meeting too. I think they went through, first they introduced everybody, so a lot of them superintendents I knew from other, I just didn't realize they were all in the West Central Ed District. He did a lot there in a little bit of time, but he does feed in the hand between meetings, I think that's They went through the reports that they went through were the administrative job descriptions, and I have the packet with me if anybody's interested in. Then talked a little bit about the beacon renovation, they're redoing the buildings, and the audit update. We talked about some different MA forms, they cover everything from special ed to sped forms, birth to early intervention, and they get the breakdowns as to how many students from each school is in that particular area. How many people are at the area learning center? That was all the new business that they had hired, and then they went on to they hired a new beacon paraprofessional, resigned, and they hired a new teacher, kind of like us with the food service or kitchen when someone, it's kind of the dominoes. They hired two new people. I have their job descriptions, and one was a paraprofessional and one was an ALC teacher. And then they discussed the school psychologist and adopted a bullying policy that was very similar to ours, only they didn't change anything in theirs. They were going to, the same area that we changed, they were going to address it through they have a different way of addressing it through the individual classroom, so they didn't have to actually change that same part. And then they set the meeting for the next January, and it is in January, their next meeting. And that was about it. like I said, I have all the, all the financial reports and stuff.
Okay, thank you. Number 2, staff development. Mr. Superintendent?
We did meet staff development, we talked about resource training and solutions, and again, it comes back to that discussion that we've had with the board about possible reduction in the future, so we talked about pros and cons of that. We also, we broke down the budget for each building. We had some discussion about that and how we're going to approve things. Also talked about some goals, and then the last thing that we talked about were the awards for staff recognition. So those are the main topics.
Good. Well, number 3 is you also, so you just keep on going there.
Yeah, just a couple of things. As the board knows, we're still working on the lunch piece for the being able to pay with credit cards. We're getting closer, but we want to make sure that once we do unveil it, we're doing some testing right now, that it works as effectively as we can. And although we were kind of told that it would seamlessly work with our current system, evidently there's a little bit of a difference in the definition from what we thought would happen and what is actually happening right now. So until we get those worked out, and they are working on them right now, we don't want to move forward until we're ready to move forward on that. As far as facilities project, we just presented a number of times, I wrote a number of articles. We've had 3 community meetings at this time. There's another one on Wednesday, October 1st at 3 o'clock. I've set up I've been told they can set up a booth in the greenhouse during one of their events just to explain again information. Going to meet with the chamber. They've told me they'd like me to come in and meet with them and just go over it. And again, the purpose is just to inform everyone so that when they get to polls on November 4th, that they can make an informed decision. We have a home football game on Friday at Sauk Center. All the teams have just been doing really well. Volleyball's been doing great, so has football. I just watched the cross-country meet, and I'm glad to see them out there running and not me. Enrollment has been stable, and that's kind of all I have right now.
Very good. Other sharing amongst the board. Since we're all talking, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion by Cheryl, a second by Mark. Is that how that went? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Thank you all for coming.
Just call it that.